Any funny sex stories at your hospital? Patient intubated and on the ventilator with a Foley catheter. Somehow his GF was riding him. I shit you not. Edit, since this got some interest and I've been asked a few times, what do you do in that situation? I'll expand a little further. It was 3 a.m. and I was walking in to do a vent check only to see what I've already described. I didn't even say any actual words, it was more like "Uso wadia fuso soso," and left the room immediately. Told the charge nurse who called security, who asked some questions, and girlfriend, never came out of the room by the way, admitted to it. Trespassed, yada yada, patient was admitted for OD and was extubated and discharged back to the streets within a day or two. Bonus story, similar situation probably less than a year later. OD comes in with unknown time down after freebasing a fentanyl patch. During the bronch we found a piece of patch that was now ash, but you could still made out the F from fentanyl. Unfortunately the patient was anoxic for too long and the discussion for withdrawal of care had begun. This particular doctor liked to have the whole team involved in the discussion, including the primary RT/RN etc. There's probably 10 people in the room when the addict homeless wife completely unprompted says she wants his organs donated but wants to save the penis for herself because his is perfect. The doctor was in his 60s and had seen some shit, so handled it very calmly and professionally when he told her that wasn't something we did but could certainly look into organ donation. What is another funny sex story? I once had a gentleman on the PICU of absolutely phenomenal proportions. I'm a big dude, but this guy towered over me. He was a colossus, a mountain of a man. Admissions told this man we would provide hospital scrubs for him if he could not get clothes. He only had one set of clothes, and they were filthy. They needed washing, so he thought it would be fine since he was going to get clothes from the hospital. Only problem was, I don't think anybody makes scrubs that would fit him. So he got these scrubs with a huge waistband but only amounted to covering like 3/4 of his legs. He was pissed, and understandably so. So, in an act of protest, he decided he was going to adjust his pants so that the 1 to 4 showing was not his ankles, but rather his groin. It is important to note that this man's genitals were proportionate to his stature, colossal. The biggest I have ever seen, both IRL or on the internet. After he got his surprise ready, he walked out into the hall on the PICU. Everything stopped instantly. The guys pacing the halls and muttering to themselves stopped in their tracks and stared, having difficulty processing what they were seeing. Everybody turned to look and seemed to be legitimately shocked by what they were witnessing. All the while, he just stood there quietly with a disgruntled look on his face. After a few seconds, the nurses and CNAs gently escorted him back into his room and told him that they would get him more clothes if he stayed in there until his clothes were done in the laundry. He said that was reasonable and agreed. They hit up the NM, who drove to a store that sold clothes that would fit him. I think it was like 15 minutes away, lol. Once he had clothes that fit, he was a complete peach for the rest of his stay, the stereotypical gentle giant. But yeah, there's the story of BDE so intense that it brought the PICU to a grinding halt. Part 2.